Welcome, everyone. I'm here with Dr. Nikita Shah, and I am Dr. Erin Mayfield, founder and CEO of my new medical practice, Lifestyle Medicine, Wellness, and Recovery. In our practice, we help people lose weight naturally, feel younger and stronger, and get off of medications. One of the ways that people can lose weight and still eat delicious food with lots of protein is to focus on whole food, plant-centered eating. We have all experienced holiday eating with meals loaded with fat, salt, and sugar. So we created this holiday cooking series to demonstrate cooking some wonderful dishes that you will love and save you from gaining 5 pounds in December. Over the next month, your cooks will be physicians from the EntreMD Business School. We are volunteering to cook in our kitchens and share delicious favorite plant-based meals. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we hope that you can attend them all. They'll be posted on our YouTube pages and in Facebook, so you can access and watch at your convenience. So I'm so excited to introduce you today to Dr. Nikita Shah. Dr. Shah is AOA board certified in family medicine and a diplomate of the American Board of Obesity Medicine. Her medical specialty is diagnosing the root cause of a person's weight gain and leveraging the science of obesity to achieve lasting wellness and weight loss. She is the founder and CEO of Weight Sense Lake Nona in the Orlando, Florida area. Her medical practice, where she offers services and personalized weight loss. She is able to monitor her patients' metabolic changes and need for medication reduction as they lose weight. Her passion is maximizing each person's health and well-being to live a long and joyful life. She can be contacted through her website, weight-sense.com, and we will have all of this in the show notes. So we're so excited to have you today, Dr. Shah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mayfield. I'm so happy to be here. So about my recipe today, I'm going to run through the ingredients and show you some pictures, and then we'll just talk as I cook along.
Fantastic.
So today I'm going to be making a lentil walnut taco lettuce wraps. These are my ingredients. So we have lentils, onions and bell peppers, walnuts, cilantro, green onions, avocado. We have oregano, cumin, red chili, lemon, and the lettuce. I also have pictured here, but I'm not going to be using it in my cooking demonstration, coconut oil and salt if you wish to use it for flavoring. Just the basic steps I'll walk you through.
Great.
We can heat the oil, but today I'm going to skip that and actually show you a water saute technique.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so you can saute your onions and bell peppers with water saute. Then you're going to add lentils. Then you're going to add the chili powder, cumin, and oregano. If you wish to add like a pinch of salt, go for it. I don't think this recipe needs that. Then you'll add in your walnuts. You'll top it with some lemon juice. You'll take all these ingredients, put it on top of your lettuce, and you can top it with avocado.
Oh, yum.
So
that sounds
you're
lovely.
Getting the full spectrum here. So I've turned my stove on and I'm heating everything up. I keep everything about like a medium to high setting. Just take a little bit of water, can't really see it. And for water saute, I like to just coat the bottom of the pan and wait for it to heat up. And then really there isn't a right or wrong reason. It's just to soften the onions and the bell peppers to bring out the flavor. So I just throw it in. What I love about this recipe is I use it a lot for holiday gatherings and parties.
Really?
And then also just like on the go for my regular meals. For my followers, I tend to have the same ingredients I use each day in my cooking. And the bases are generally bell peppers, onions, greens. And I tend to just keep making different recipes using the same ingredients. So everything I'm showing you here right now, I already had pre-chopped in my fridge. to use for everything else that we cook throughout the week as a family. So for those holiday parties that you may have at the office or with friends, I think this is just a great way to bring something in that's very hearty and filling and full of flavor. And no one will feel bad about eating it because
That's right.
there isn't anything bad in it. So yeah.
Oh, exactly. And it looks like it's a great recipe for people who try to avoid bread or wheat flours or any type of flour.
Exactly. So I'm going to try to see if I can grab a picture of what the water saute looks like. I'm just going to move my camera. Never done this before, so we're all.
Oh, that looks great.
So yeah, so it's just sauteing along. And I just generally wait until it softens up. And see, like even without oil, you get that same sort of softening.
Yes,
But
it cooks just fine without the oil.
Exactly. Put that back there. So I think I've been water sauteing my onions and peppers for some time now. I don't really miss the flavor of the oil, and I don't think it really hinders my cooking. In fact, I've started to notice with my taste buds, just all the other flavors of food starting to pop out. So it's fun. I think a fun fact is it that it takes less than about a month, like 24 days for your taste buds to enjoy new flavors. I can't remember the fact.
Oh, that's right. It happens pretty quickly. I mean, it amazed me too. And I think it amazes everybody that just gives plant eating a try. When they get rid of the processed stuff, it's like going through addiction withdrawal. And then all of a sudden, all these new things start to pop up.
Yeah, so you'll start to taste all these flavors. So now the water has evaporated, and that's when I know that my sauteing is done.
Oh, interesting. That's great.
Soft. So now, I just lost a spatula. I added my lentils. And then I'm going to add in the red chili, the cumin, and oregano.
Oh, yum.
And you get lots of flavor, and it's smelling so good right now.
Oh, I bet. And thank you so much for putting out the different spices in your little bowl so we could look at those.
I'm gonna get a new spatula because mine fell on the floor. So now I just mixed it all up, and it already smells so delicious. I'll get the camera again.
Oh, I bet. I can just imagine.
It smells so good. And really the oregano, I think, brings out a great aroma. And this doesn't take that long. Like I just threw it in, and then I always like to add in green onions. They're my superpower of food. I think it comes with, or superpower for flavor. I think it just brings out really nice taste. And then I'll throw in here's lemon. Whoop, there we go. And that lemon just kind of make that citric, I think, just brings out a really nice flavor. And you can see that even without oil, even without salt, there's no sugar, everything looks really fresh. It's like moving around very nicely in this pan, so you don't have a mush.
Oh, it is. It's great.
And then I throw in my healthy fats, which are my walnuts.
Oh, I bet that gives a lovely flavor.
Yes, and it has a nice crunch. Exactly, it has a nice crunch. And then you can see that lemon juice added some liquid to it, so I just kind of wait until it evaporates with this.
Oh, interesting.
At the very end, I'll add in the cilantro. I'm almost done. It's smelling really great, guys.
Oh, I can tell.
And I think all of the liquid has gone off. I throw in my cilantro.
Wow.
And like I said, I generally have all of these ingredients chopped up and in my fridge. It's a habit I've created over the years. And it makes for really quick meals. So this is done. And I have my lettuce right here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I just take it and I just scoop it.
Wow.
And
That's
so,
amazing how fast that went.
yeah, it's not fast at all. It does help, I will say, to have these ingredients readily available in your house, but it doesn't
Sure.
take much time at all. It smells great. I don't feel like I'm missing out on any flavor. And then I have some avocados, so some more good fats that I
Oh,
just
that's beautiful.
pop on. And when I
Uh-huh.
eat this, I feel very full. I don't feel like I'm starving. And I usually have all the energy I need to go on with my day, chase after my kids.
That
Continue
takes a
being
lot
busy
of energy.
Yeah, lots of energy. And it's delicious. And you just got to turn off the stove. But that was it.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah,
So I do have a couple questions.
absolutely.
Okay, so those look like green lentils. Were those green lentils?
Yes.
They were green. Okay, and they
Mhm.
were pre-cooked?
Actually, I buy the canned version just for
So
ease.
those were
I
the
just
canned? Okay.
And I
Yeah,
just
because it
rinse
makes
them
it
out.
faster.
Yeah, I just keep them, I rinse them off. I keep, I always have beans and lentils on hand in my pantry. It just makes it super quick. So yeah, I just rinse them off and that's all.
That is wonderful. So what's really amazed me as I've learned about plant-based cooking, because I've told some of the other docs, I never cooked before I started plant-centered eating. Never. I just wouldn't do it. I would eat, a snack before I would go through the process of looking at a recipe and trying to cook something and then going through the cleanup. It was just too much for me. But I love plant-centered cooking. And there's so many reasons why, but one is that you don't have all that grease and fat that you're dealing with.
Mhm.
It's clean cooking. It's fast. Really, people worry about food prep when they've not done it before. But to me, it's faster to take an hour on a Sunday afternoon and food prep for the week, getting everything ready, your ideas of what you'd like to cook, and chopping and putting things in containers. I mean, that's just as fast as sitting at a restaurant waiting for a menu and waiting for a meal to come.
I completely agree. In fact, some of my gripe with takeout food is that it takes just as much time for me to sit there, place the order,
Yes.
bring it home. And then there's this bit of environmental impact too. Like I kind of cringe when I see all the takeout containers that I may bring home and how my trash can gets full. So all around, I tend to, I don't think my produce typically goes bad. I tend to eat everything that we cook. Towards the end of the week, I'll look at my fridge and really just consider what's left and what can I make with it.
Yeah.
And I get it empty. So it kind of bypasses that whole process of having to clean out the fridge because that's also a task I hate to do. I just like to use it as I go.
And you can use it with plants.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's been a journey of learning what I like to combine. And I love to throw in all kinds of things with recipes. So whether it's soups or curries or beans, I'll find same thing that you do, find it in the refrigerator, chop it up, throw it in. It's just, and it's so much fun, but there's so many different things you can do. Like you just showed us how to make lentil tacos without bread. I mean, and it's very filling. Could you talk a little bit about how the fat content of animal proteins really can make us feel bloated and sluggish and slow down our digestive tract?
Yeah. So you may be better able to answer the digestive tract piece, but from the obesity perspective and from the brain perspective, the saturated fats actually can alter the blood-brain barrier, and
Wow.
it can actually affect our hypothalamus so that we tend to get a lot of inflammation in our body. So even before we start getting the gut inflammation or the inflammation around our organs, our brain will actually start sensing this inflammation, which actually creates this existence for our brain to feel that it is in a an ever hungry state. So when we are eating in a plant-based manner, we are reducing the saturated fats. It will really impact our satiety. And over time, when that decreases, or the consumption of those foods increase, our brain sensors, like how it senses if we're full or hungry and like truly hungry, that will change, and we'll actually move into more of a fat burning process and utilize the energy that's on board instead of storing the energy as adipose tissue. So that's one of the big factors. Also, another big condition that we deal with a lot in family medicine and with our population as a whole is fatty liver. And so the saturated fats can also increase our risk of fatty liver. And then for a lot of my family medicine patients, I'll have patients who will actually feel very sore and achy throughout their body. And that saturated fat could actually make its way and cause inflammation in between the muscles and the muscle fibers as well.
Oh my goodness.
Really, the less we have of it, the better for the overall picture.
Oh, absolutely. It's something that I remind myself of and remind friends and family and patients of, is that every molecule makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the fact that you've got millions or billions of miles of blood vessels in your body and how tiny those are, and how those lipid molecules, those fat molecules that are absorbed from the food that you eat, travel all into those little tiny blood vessels. And no wonder they get clogged.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas plants don't do that at all.
Exactly.
So, and the feeling of feeling full, but not feeling sluggish.
Yes.
I think is really important for people to understand how that feeling sluggish and bloated is really directly connected to their food.
Yeah.
And we don't make that distinction in our culture much. People don't understand, or even kids who don't do well in school. What do they eat for breakfast? What do they eat for lunch? And well, of course they'd feel sleepy at 1 PM if they had hamburgers and fries at lunch. So I'm excited to bring this type of awareness and these reminders to people that food makes all the difference. It's the critical factor in how you feel and how your body functions every day.
Exactly. And I think one of my most favorite pictures or diagrams for the American College of Lifestyle Medicine is actually the plate from the standard American diet with the highly processed foods, and then the spectrum, like the dietary spectrum, moving to a whole food plant-based diet. And I think sometimes patients, and then even myself at one point, I was like, how do I go from here to here? Like, what is the journey? And I think every step of the way counts. So it's, where are we on the spectrum? I think during the holiday times, we might find ourselves eating more processed foods, more flour, or sorry, more sugar, more salt, because of all the treats that are around, and having those higher saturated fats. But reminding us, and I think getting anchored, that it doesn't have to be that way. And I love that you're sharing all these recipes with the world, because we'll learn different ways to bring in these healthy foods onto our plates during the holidays.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Well, I'm excited too, because I also agree it is a journey. It's been a journey for me, transitioning from what we grew up with as being normal, and then being bombarded with advertising, by the food industry, and then just switching back really to the basics. And you do feel better. It's amazing. It's just amazing how good you feel and how much energy you have. And so I love all of this too. I'm thrilled to learn from you and get your recipe for the lentil tacos. That's just a beautiful recipe, and I can't wait to try it myself.
Thank you. It's delicious, and I'm pretty excited to have it for lunch myself.
Oh, good. And so quickly, can you tell us, I know you have an in-person practice. Do you also do virtual classes, or are you in person only?
Just in person. A part of my practice at Weight Sense does include virtual check-ins and appointments throughout the process, but mainly it's in person.
Oh, good. And can you tell us about the monitoring, the remote monitoring that you're doing with patients? You talked about that a little bit, but I didn't understand all those details, but I'd love to hear.
So within my practice, I utilize health coaches and virtual monitoring to help patients reach their goals and also get that feedback in real time of how progress is going. So each week, the patients will meet with a health coach, and it's in the comfort of their homes or wherever they may be on their schedule. There's good availability to connect with somebody on the patient's time, because I think that's very important. With the monitoring aspect, I have a Bluetooth scale that integrates with the app, and patients will weigh themselves. And not that weight is the only factor of success. I think having more energy, feeling better, sleeping better, I think those are all non-scale victories.
Yes.
But the scale is usually one of the reasons people will come and find me. And it's a very it's a strong data point, but it's not the only thing that matters. So a lot of the other things are subjective, but I do track that as well through my patient interviews. So the scale goes through the app. The health coaches also have access to it. And it's there just to remind us this is data, and let's see how we're progressing. I think that during the day and even throughout the week, we have a lot of ups and downs. And so by the time a patient gets to their 1 month follow-up with me, they may think nothing's going right, or everything's going right. But we know that the journey is up and down throughout the day. And I love looking back at the notes from the coaches to see what progress has been made, to see like, where did the scale go up and down? Like, maybe you did lose some weight, but then there was a vacation you took midway and you kind of got off plan. And I really like to think that we're going to fail forward. We're not going to mean that this isn't working for you. We just got to take the evidence and decide what we're going to tweak for the next vacation, or what we're going to tweak for the next holiday. So it utilizes all those notes, all those data points, all the information between the patient and the coaches in a very consistent manner, because behavior change requires consistency. And so I think that's the magic sauce of the program. Is one, I have all the training and education to help patients on their journey. And then two, we have this consistency built into the program. So it's not just every month you see me as your doctor, but each week you're touching base. And I think that just really improves the entire process.
Oh, it's fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. I know that patients love working with you, and they love being able to ask questions on a regular basis.
Yes.
So sustaining that support, to me also, it's an integral part of making this happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And I love when you talked about the victories, the non-scale victories.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that is just fabulous, because we do need to talk about those and recognize those, and appreciate the nuances and how the changes occur.
Exactly, because I think it's a win if we talked a little bit about this, like how we needed a snack before we start preparing our dinner. There was a point in my life I used to polish off a whole block of cheese before cooking dinner, and I'd wonder why I felt bloated or sick. And it's just bringing awareness to that one action, that when I was getting home, I was actually hungry, or needing something, and I was substituting that desire, that need, with a block of cheese, instead of just maybe taking a moment to have a timeout, maybe nourish myself in another way. I think I was just tired from my day. And moving my attention to like, what was I doing at lunchtime that was making me so famished by the time I got home and prepared dinner. So these little things, like we have these actions that we take, but if we start really looking at our thought processes, and then what our beliefs are, and then how they result in our actions, we start uncracking the code that is us. And no two people are alike. So I think that's another big piece, is what works for one person may not work for another person in their life. And it's really investing that time to uncover it and thinking it is important enough of a cause to work on it. Because I think every person's health is important and every person should have their health.
That's right. That is just fantastic.
Yeah. So
wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Are there any other tips that you can think of that you'd like to throw out there today?
I would just say that self-care is love, and that's in self-love. So sometimes these tasks or these things like preparing a meal for ourselves seem like a chore. But I would reframe that and just think that this is how you show love for yourself.
Yes,
so
that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's how I take on a lot of cooking, because I'll be honest, I don't enjoy doing dishes all the time and I don't enjoy doing all the chores. And it would be wonderful if somebody just had all this food on the table for me to eat. That's not reality. And if I reframe it as this is how I show love to my family, this is how I show love to myself, then I take it on completely differently, as opposed to this is what we do at the end of the day to get by. And then I think our choices, or at least my choices and what I eat, drink, and do change when I recognize this is how I show myself love.
Well, that is just fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing everything with us today.
You're very welcome. This was fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome. It was a blast. So everybody, take advantage of Dr. Shah and her expertise. She loves all of you, and we'll have all of her information in the show notes. And I hope you all enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So have a great week. Bye.
Bye.